Okay. Hello, everyone. My name is Daniel Coelho, and today I will be discussing Stephen Wynn, the man and visionary behind the Wynn and Encore Resorts. So here's my table of contents. I will be talking about, who Stephen Wynn is, his time at the Wynn Resorts, why he later had to resign from his position, and the future of Wynn. And finally, I'll end it off with a conclusion and my sources. So, who is Steve Wynn? Early life, 1942 through 1963. He was born in New Haven, Connecticut. He graduated from the University of Pennsylvania. However, his father died before he graduated. So instead of pursuing a higher education like planned, Steve Wynn took over his father's bingo business, which led him to be a part of the gaming industry. He later planned and then moved to Las Vegas with his family. This is around 1967 and 1988, and this is really, to me, I see this as him entering the casino industry. So why did he move? He moved because he purchased a small stake in the Frontier Hotel and Casino, and then he had various business ventures in the city, which then led to his company in 1973 to have a majority of the sharehold of the Golden Nugget. This led him to become the youngest owner of a casino at the time. Now, he was known to actually revitalize the Golden Nugget, and he really established himself in Vegas for this. He was known as a man that was very capable and very successful. So after that little stunt and after all that success, he wanted to move on. He wanted to do more things. He wanted to go bigger, and that's like constantly what his like work ethic is, to just keep going bigger. And you'll see this once I talk about the other ones. So from that time, so from 1989 to 1998, after all the success of the Golden Nugget, he opened the Mirage, which was revolutionary for the strip. He then launched Bellagio, which was like really the hotel that set high luxury standards. Sorry. So after all that, after being very successful, he wanted to implement his grandest idea to the strip, and that was the Wynn Hotel and Resort. He did that around 2005 to 2018. He was elevating high end hospitality. And a year later, he expanded into Macau. I'll get onto that. But then, what's happening now then? He has resigned. In 2018, he resigned. He had to step down from the Wynn Resorts amid a bunch of controversy. His influence, though, however, is still very significant worldwide. So we'll be talking now about the Wynn Resorts. So Steve Wynn had the idea of the Wynn Resorts and kind of really tried to implement it around 2002. However, it did open in 2005, April 28th. So when this hotel opened, it had set a new standard for what luxury was. And it's been doing that for years now. But what did the Wynn Hotel and Resort offer that other hotels didn't? They offered a combination of elegant design, fine dining, and world class entertainment. So at the time in Vegas, you could have gotten all of that anywhere, but you couldn't have gotten all of that in one place. So he was really innovative with the fine dining and the world class entertainment. With fine dining, he brought top chefs around the world to come to his hotel and to cook for his guests. And he was really trying to show that luxury is like his thing. Like he is the innovator of luxury. So after all that success in Nevada, and after opening the Encore in December 22nd, 2008, he's also at the same time trying to expand internationally out of the little bubble Las Vegas is. So in 2006, so right between when he first opened Wynn and to when he opened, sorry, when he first opened Wynn and then opened Encore, right in the middle is when he opened Wynn Macau, which really brought the brand's luxury into the Asian market. So Asia at the time really had a really big gaming market, and everyone wanted a piece of it. And Steve Wynn was really lucky to be able to open a resort there. And there's been a lot of out of state ideas and plans, and even out overseas plans. But the most recent one has been Wynn Boston Harbor, which opened June 23rd, 2019, which really marked Wynn's expansion into the northeast of the United States. So, quick little note, Encore Boston Harbor had a lot of controversy actually. And I just said Wynn Boston Harbor, but the company's Wynn, but it's called Encore, sorry. Um, but actually has a lot of controversy. There was a lot of issues when he was opening that resort, and not many people know about it. It's kind of hard to like find solid evidence, so that's why I'm not bringing it up that much. But they had to push it back the opening date by I think around a year. So if you want to like learn about that, or if you're interested about that, I would tell you to look into it. But now we're gonna really talk about what I found the most interesting, what I didn't even know about Steve Wynn before researching, and that was his resignation. So why did Steve Wynn resign? Now, why would a man who seemed like the powerhouse in the industry just stop and resign in 2018? It seems kind of silly. But the reason why is there was a post, multiple posts, by the Wall Street Journal, which exposed Steve Wynn and his countless sexual misconduct allegations. Multiple women came out. It was during the Me Too movement where this all happened, and it was crazy. Like, if you go more to it, it's absurd. There's a lot of nasty things that were alleged towards him, and even though all of it probably isn't true, a lot of it is true. And he got multiple fines to the Wynn company for not creating a safe work environment, and he is still fighting allegations legally to this day. And he files defamatory lawsuits against accusers, which isn't like the best way to save face, in my opinion. But I digress. So 2018 when that happened, a few months after that happened, after the paper was released and everyone started to learn this, everything reached a boiling point, and that is because investors really started getting scared. They were concerned about the company's future and stability, and Steve Wynn being exposed had a severe impact on the Wynn's brand and reputation. And in Vegas, you only have one reputation. There was a loss of trust among employees, customers, business partners, and the only way they really saw to save Wynn from immense turmoil was to just do a huge overhaul of all their practices. And that meant Steve Wynn had to go. So he stepped down and he finally takes a leave from the public eye after being in it for almost 51 years. So what the Wynn Casino is still hotel resort is still open and it's still doing great. However, they have changed management. But what is really the future of the Wynn Resorts? Now, they're heading towards a new chapter, and a few key areas that really shape where they're going is leadership transition, renewed focus on ethics, innovation, and diversification. So, with that first one, ever since the departure of Steve Wynn, the company has gone through a major leadership shift. The way that everything is done, the way that it goes through parties has all completely changed. And new executives have really been working to move past the old controversies and to focus on rebuilding trust and stronger internal culture. This transition really gave the Wynn Resorts a chance to kind of redefine its image and leadership style for kind of a new era after Steve Wynn is gone. Now, with that leadership change, there's been a push to emphasize emphasize my apologies, um, ethics and accountability in their work culture. They've made many efforts to kind of improve what they consider as an issue, and they've really enforced stricter policies, and they've made it clear to every higher up in their company that anything that violates HR isn't acceptable anymore. Like, no matter what position you are, you cannot be behaving in a way that affects and creates a toxic work environment. And this shift, while has been the norm, is really critical to be known because they do it for like the morale of their employees, but they do it so the public kind of trusts Wynn more. Like, there's not an evil face or like an evil company behind the Wynn Resorts. Like, they're trying their best. And then a third way that they're really pioneering their future is innovation. Wynn has always been known for luxury, but now it's leaning more into innovation. Now, that could be how they're incorporating technology into the customer experience or how they're building smarter and more sustainable resorts. They're looking to stay ahead in a competitive industry, and especially in Las Vegas and Macau, where standing out means constantly evolving. It's impressive and important to be so innovative. And now, for the last one, Wynn has also been trying to expand its horizons. They're not just focused on a traditional resort anymore. They are making moves towards a new markets, and it could be digital gaming, international expansion, and possibly just tapping into more of an entertainment side of staying at a resort. And this is how kind of they're setting themselves up to be more successful long term and just to be more stable. So, conclusions. What has been said throughout this whole presentation is that Stephen Wynn had a great leadership role when it came to a business aspect. Even though he wasn't a good person when he was in power and clearly took advantage of that, he did transform the Las Vegas landscape. I just want to say thank you for listening, and here's my sources before I forget, and have a great day.